Yo, stop. In this video, I'm going to show you how to handle a complaint like a boss. But before I get into the 4-step process on how to handle a complaint, I'm going to share a story of a couple who had a legitimate complaint, and I'll go through the story on how I handled it and made this service failure into a service recovery. This is what happened. We had a couple walk into our restaurant. And now keep in mind, we have 2 different options for a restaurant. One option you can do is dine at the Jazz Lounge where there's live entertainment. And the other option is to dine in the dining side of the restaurant where you can basically have a more relaxed ambiance. You know, there's a candle, there's like booths, there's just like a dining side and a lounge side. Most restaurants, most servers know what I'm talking about. So this couple, 3 weeks in advance, they had booked the Options Jazz Lounge. So they wanted the live entertainment side on New Year's Eve, December 31st, 2021. The day comes, they come into the restaurant and they get sat in the dining side, not what they had asked for. I wasn't on the floor at the time, so they asked their server if they can switch to it, the other side, because you know, that's what they asked for 3 weeks in advance, and it's only fair that we make it right for them, which is incredibly difficult. And you know what, you know where I'm coming from if you've ever worked in a restaurant, because when every single table is booked and reserved, it's kind of impossible, almost impossible to make things right. But you know me, I can play around with these things. Anyway, so they finally got into the Options Jazz side, and what happened was that because they were a new table that came from the other side, no one had greeted them for over 10 minutes. Yeah, that's pretty bad. So already 2 mistakes happened like that, and it did not start off their night nice. Keep in mind, they were very, very kind, very patient, and they just wanted to go out to have a good time. You don't go out much, so when you do, you want to have a good experience. You know, I get it. Trust me, I totally get it. So after I spoke to them, step number 1, I listen actively, meaning I go to the table and I acknowledge that there was something wrong, and I ask the table, hey, I heard there was a problem. I am all ears to listen. I am the manager on duty for the floor tonight. Please let me know what happened. This is when they take around 5 to 10 minutes to explain their problem. And in this step, all you have to do is listen to every single word they're saying, okay? Unless they ask you a question, obviously. After you have listened thoroughly and completely understood the situation, then you would ask certain questions to make sure you understand it fully. Step number 2 is to decide whether their complaint or not is legit, okay? So sometimes they may be complaining for the sake of complaining, and that's when you step in and kind of explain, you know, how the operation is run, and you know, you kind of come up with excuses and, you know, reasons why it's not true. But in this case, they had the full legitimate complaint, okay? So I deemed it correct, all right? Step 2 is when you don't apologize. No, not yet. You actually emphasize in their shoes. Yeah. So after I heard that complaint, I would then say, hey, you know what? I really feel your frustration. If I was put into your shoes and I had to come to a restaurant and they didn't get it right, and I was patient and I was kind, and then I got sat in the right section finally, and then someone still hasn't greeted me, honestly, I would be a little upset too and frustrated. I don't blame you at all for that. Step number 3, this is when you apologize. You actively apologize. So this is when after you emphasize, it kind of goes back to back. So yeah, I feel your frustration and I sincerely want to apologize for what happened here. And you know, no one wants this to happen to them. It's unfortunate, it does happen. You know, everyone makes mistakes, and I'm sorry that we had to be the ones to make the mistake tonight for you guys. So step number 4, let me make it right for you. What can I do right now that would make your night or experience better? And usually I offer drinks on the house the first round, or sometimes I offer a dessert on the house. And luckily enough, we had trained our server so well, and this server was amazing. She didn't even have to ask me or tell me anything. She already took the responsibility and initiative to get them a drink on the house for each of them. And this actually allowed me now as a manager to do something else for them, because I did feel for this couple. They were very, very nice people. I really connected with them. So they were staying in the hotel because the restaurant was in the hotel. And I asked them if it's comfortable with them to know their room number. So after they told me their room number, I actually went to the back and I made like a nice movie basket. It's like an amenity we have. And you know, I got for them on the house, and I went to their room because I have the master key. So I put it in the room with its drinks, its chocolate truffles, whatever it is. I put like a nice movie basket together. And then I come back to the table and I just ask them, hey, how was your night? I hope it's going well. They're like, yeah, thank you for checking. I told them, listen, there's a surprise in your room waiting for you after this restaurant experience. So I hope you can enjoy the rest of your night, and you know, just sorry about what happened. You know, I want you guys to come back here and have a good time. They were so happy with like me just listening. They even said, you just listening to us makes it right. Like some people, they just want to be listened to and acknowledged. So it can be very easy to, you know, please and service recovery other guests sitting at your restaurant or hotel. You just have to, it just depends on the guests. So the 4-step process, I'll remind you, was step 1, actively listen. Step 2, emphasize in their shoes. Step 3, sincerely apologize. Step 4, make it right for them. Okay? And in this case, what happened was that the next day, I swear to God, the next day, I got a letter with $100 bill in it. Okay? And the letter said, hello, Isa, and the server's name, the server that was serving them. Thank you for such a wonderful night. You and the server's name did such an amazing job taking care of us. Here's a little treat from us to show us our appreciation, and we will definitely come back next time and looking forward to it. So just making a service failure into a service recovery, the way I handled that complaint, not only did it solve the problem, it actually made the problem into a better service than they were supposed to have. Because imagine they came in and they had decent service, they probably wouldn't have remembered their night as much, but because they had bad service and we recovered it for them and made their night even better because of it, now they have a good image of the restaurant, what their standards are, and I just made a connection with the guests for them to come back over and over again. So that is a 4-step process on how to handle a complaint like a boss. If you like this content, please subscribe to my channel for more hotel and restaurant videos. Until next time, guys.